I don't know what it is about me and Moonlighter 2 specifically, but this is cursed. Oh, like that, like that, like that. Me and Moonlighter 2 are cursed. So I've beaten the game, or at least the demo. As you can see by the fact that I have access to boss fight. But Moonlighter 2 and me are not on good terms. Not because it's a bad game, it's a good game. Because the first time I recorded it, my audio was not catching at all. The second time I recorded it, I was just trying to slog through and get it done. And then in editing, I accidentally overwrote the entire original video, and I didn't have the footage to fix it. So, this is Moonlighter. Somebody is hammering something outside. You're almost in rhythm, but this is Moonlighter 2. It's a game I'm personally very excited for a couple reasons, and I will be getting into it. We're just going to lose all your relics. I don't care. That's one thing. I don't like the losing all your relics. Like, off the bat, I don't like the you will lose your relics if you just go into the dungeon. I hope that's not something, like, I liked the risk of going in with the other materials in the first one, because if I fucked up, that was my fault. Okay, so problem 2. God damn it. Don't worry, we will be getting into good things about this game. Problem 2 is, at least in the demo, it really feels like it's trying to push the spikes on you. Instead of trusting in your ability, it keeps throwing these spikes at you and saying, hey, use these. And while that can be good, it's good if that's a kit you want to build. I don't think forcing it in my face like this is a good idea. Because how often am I going to use spikes? Well, yeah, pretty often, until you get to the boss fight. Because I've gotten to the boss fight, there wasn't a single thing to let me use spikes there. We'll see if I remember my controls. Okay. Oh yeah, you have a gun. So you don't have the bow anymore, but they swap it out with a gun as a secondary. So whilst you can't use like 2 different weapons, you do have a workaround. And I like that. I like that it's something that lets you focus on your main and having a support. It is something I like a lot. Like on the thing from earlier, that is how you use the spikes. They show up in those pods, or there's a skill that lets you use it. But if I don't want to use the spikes that run, I don't think I should be having spike things rammed into my face. Essentially, I'm just going to get into this in a very here's everything kind of way, because yeah. Once placed all... Ooh, yeah. It brings back the system from the older game, like of the first game, for having these in which you have your items, but some of them have gimmicks, like the sun claw will burn things in the pointed direction. Similar to how 1 had it, so it was... I believe it was... when you leave, destroy the pointed relic. Oh my god. Go away. Okay, that's how I use my secondary skill. I very much enjoy the style of this game. It keeps the style of 1, but manages to make it 3D, and I think that's really cool. Like, something that I was talking about in the original recording, which, good job me, is that it found a way, and a lot of indie games that started with pixels are finding a way to do this, of managing to create a 3D version while still keeping the original style. And I think that's really cool. My computer is screaming. Enough with the spikes! Please! Like, The last time, it was 3 spike things in a row. This time, it's 3 spikes in a row. At least give me stuff to actually do spike naturally. God, okay, what's this? More, okay. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. Like, I got 8 spike things in total so far, and 1 thing about my actual skill. I want to do things of my skill. I don't want to be forced into a method that I barely know or I don't care about in some cases. What was I saying? Right. The style. Like, you can tell with some of these things the very stylized nature. The projectile and the ooze are still the same. The slimes, you probably saw them earlier, they're still in a very similar style to the first game. It manages to keep the charm, and I love that. But it also adds unique things. Like, as you just saw, I could punch things, well, not punch things, I could hit things away with the bag, and it's sometimes under specific conditions. 3 more spike things. Sure. Sure. I'll take it. Not that I have a choice. That really needs to be weighed better, honestly. Like, I don't know. I can rant all day about it, and I can shoot this and do it, but like, if all of my skills are based around finding this plant, that's such a specific thing that needs changed. In terms of gameplay, though, in terms of gameplay, I very much enjoy how this is going so far. It still feels like Moonlighter. It's still, if anything, it plays better. And to be fair, I'm playing this on keyboard and mouse, so my better was also, when it's in the corner. My better was also, like, a lot of finagling with the control scheme and trying not to scream. Each time you burn a common relic, gain 50. Yes. And then I will put that there. And then I will put that there, so that burns that. And that gains 50. And then I place the firewood here. So that burns for 50. But then I burn that Sunclaw for another 50. And then I burn... Wait. And then I burn those 2 for an extra 100. Like, stuff like that. I like stuff like that. I like being able to toss my junk for better stuff. I also like... Yes, phone? I also like having my materials. That's one thing that was changed in this game. When you get into the crafting, you'll see it's not go into the depths and find the materials. It's actually, I'm pretty sure I can show this. Yeah, materials. There's gold vouchers, sun eaters. You can use these for, I believe, making and upgrading armor. Slime shards are used at the potion shop. It's a lot of tech trees and like some armor things, very basic armor things. I'd love to talk, but this is something that requires my focus. Hello, thank you. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, right. There's a lot of tech trees in this game, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of tech trees. I don't think it all needs to be tech trees, but it is all tech trees. Burn relics in the same row and gain 100 per each. Burn adjacent relics and gain 200 for each. So if I do that, adjacent relics would be here, 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 and each time you burn a common relic, so it burns those 3, that gains 600, that gains 150. Yeah. I like that. I still like that. I don't think everything needs to be a tech tree. I enjoy it. I'm a fan of roguelikes. I enjoy tech trees. I enjoy being able to build my skills. So, question. Why did you give me a bunch of abilities for Spike, but not give me a Spike skill? That's not a get good thing. That's a get fucked thing. Like, I can see how Spike is useful. Give me the ability to use it? You know? That doesn't seem like a big ask. Will you give me the ability to spike with my punches? Your shot's up at 30%. That's my shot. My attack is a 10% chance to cast one spike. Your special... Okay, but at this point it'd be stupid for me to take the special because you've shoved so many spike things in my face. So like I'd take Sharp Touch because my attacks can release spikes, and then if it throws a spike, it goes good for me. Also, after this run, I am going to be also showing some Moonlighter 1 stuff to show some proper comparison, because just saying comparison is kind of dumb without showing it, coming from the guy who's also done exactly that a couple times. What do I got? Duplicate this relic when burned. Next time you burn a relic, gain its coin. So I'd bring this with me and this with me. Holy fuck, why is this so loud? Editor, you can fix that on his own time. Just don't crank the audio so we're screaming again, please. And here's the boss. If we can survive. Okay, I can still use my ring, my necklace. Hello, Harold, bringer of techno. I just fought a Harold in another game. There was a funny game about war and frames. Bonk. Ooh, okay. Maybe don't spam your spacebar. I will say, this is an interesting boss fight. When it works. It's definitely a very interesting boss fight because it plays around a lot with some of its new stuff. If I can aim that. It plays around a lot with the new stuff. It plays around with some of these areas here. I just remembered that I could move my character. Okay. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Trust me. There we go. It reminds me a lot of the slime, like the Golem boss in the first game. With like the big sweeping attack and some of its gimmicks. I might need to bail out of here. Yep, I need to bail out. I will say I have not been able to beat the Herald yet. That is the plan, though. What do you mean there's a bigger boss down the line? And now we get into the other part. If any of you watching have played the first Moonlighter, you'll know that the market is very set your price and then figure out if it's good. This pulls away from that. Not in a bad way, though. Actually, I'm gonna sell this near last. Hello, you. Oh, yeah, on talking about the skill trees. Here's a skill tree. It's interesting, and I hope it goes well, but there's a lot that, like, I need to wait until they're released to see, obviously. Increased charm effect, but disasters are more frequent. Whatever. I can take that one. So, Here, it's not a case of having to set the price and figure it out, worry about thieves. You'll probably still have to worry about thieves down the line. It's Moonlighter. That was kind of one of the fun parts of the other game. But this one incorporates a lot more haggling. So in this, I could boost this for 65, and then I can charm it for an extra 78 to get the most I can out of it. You'll have to give me a second, sir. Or like, next deal has extra charm. Each sale increases 50 of the boost effect. So if I were to go into this one, this guy has a shield. I learned this. When they have a shield, you have to use one of your skills to break the shield before you can do it. Because I never read the bottom left. So we're just going to take that deal. I'd rather keep that boost. It adds a lot of systems to make sure that you're getting the most you can out of it. And I think that's pretty interesting. And it also adds some randomness to it, as seen here. Ooh. Next deal has an extra 200 effect. Yes, sir. So that went from 110 to 840. Imagine what I could have done with the other one. That's the noise you make? We're gonna boost this, sell that, get a skill. I'd like that skill, please. And then we'll do this one again. Hello. Yeah, quick and easy. And then next up, we put the two really pricey ones on. I think putting the really pricey ones on is good for the later end, because that means you have the skills that you can use for it. Hold on, sir. I'm trying to pet little creature. Hello. Just gonna sell this as is so I can get more skills. Before anything, we're gonna do this. And then that. So that went from about 800 to... Holy shit. Almost double its price. Or double its price. I'm not sure. Father's statue. There you go. And that is everything. In that I made 11,000 this time, which is pretty good. Oh no, I didn't make 11,000. I made 5,908. Sorry, I was looking at my total cash. I would have been very confused. You'll also see. Don't worry about that impossible price. That's just because I finished the demo. With Eris, who is the potion merchant, when you buy upgrades, it's a skill tree. I'm not fully a fan of this, I'm not gonna lie. With one thing I really enjoyed was the having to manage your coin and your resources. Every slot in your backpack counted. And it's the same here to an extent. I very much enjoyed having that potion slot, so if I needed it, I would have it, and I could stockpile if I was having a bad time. I very much enjoyed having either I could buy a potion or I could get the materials to get the potion for cheaper. That's something I very much enjoyed. I get moving to this. I think it's interesting. I don't think putting potion usage on your skill tree is the most necessary thing, but that's just me. Increase healing power of potions by legendary. What does that mean? What does that even mean? One thing I will say I enjoy, to an extent. The weapons here, very much simplified in how you make them, and you can also upgrade them. I can't upgrade this one because it requires a resource that I don't know if it's in the demo or not. I can upgrade this one. So if I were to do so, just a quick, easy, done, does better, right? Like, your special attack deals extra damage. For this one, your focus lasts longer. For armor, it's another case of, I enjoy it, kind of. I enjoy that it's just a quick set. I kinda wish it was more... I don't think making it as gimmicky as full clear a room for extra coin was the best idea. So I take it this is going to be money for rarities. I see an upgrade thing up there. I'm sorry if my model has just been staring like right at you, like right at the camera or at the screen, I guess. I keep forgetting that my model can actually mess around with following my mouse now. We're going to quickly jump over to the first game. And now I have learned my lesson from other games in which I record for too long and then I lose all my footage because I recorded for too long and my computer restarts because I have a shitty computer. Off the rip. Style. Pixels. Very, honestly, highly detailed pixels. It's like, holy shit. Inventory. Stacked. Absolutely. And by stacked, I mean slots. My inventory is empty, except for a broom. I can rock 2 weapons. I have amulets, my potion slots, and armor slots. It's not a full set. It's interchangeable armor pieces. I like it. Still, the armor smith, you can see the armor styling is a very different system. And you can see the materials are a lot more complicated. I can actually make this. In terms of weaponry, there is sword and shield, big sword, spears, gloves, and bows. I assume what's being taken out is the bows because we have the gun. The sword and shield seems to be changed to sword. I didn't see shield on it, so there's still the gloves, so I'm assuming it's big sword and spears, unless they're bringing in some special unique weapon. Here is our potion lady. Hello, Eris. So for potions, yeah, here you can see you could either just bring the materials and some of the coin, or you could pay full price for potions. I think I like this a bit more. Oh, she also has enchantments, which I guess is the upgrade system, I'm pretty sure, which is cool. We have this guy, which is the selling junk stuff. So for this, I'm going to be going into Desert Dungeon, only for heroes. I mean, I'm kind of a hero. I've cleared out 2 of the dungeons. Also, at the end of this, I am going to be doing a comparison of the 2. So here is our combat. We don't have any fancy bag punching. We have our secondary skill and our primary skill. The secondary skill on the gloves, which is also what I was using in 2, the secondary skill is a long punch. So there's still a lot of interesting little things. There's the gimmicks on items, like the ones you would have just seen are, yeah, clings to the wall. I was going to say or this or that, but it's more clings to the walls. Or this is one thing that I really enjoy. You get a glimpse of what's to come, and I hope 2 does this as well. Because if you're exploring a dungeon, you can get some early material by exploring these rooms. They're not common, and I fell down a hole. They're not common, but there's something I really like and really hope to see again. I do hope there is a little bit of secret hunting in the second one. That is something that I think would be very helpful. The heal pool returns. I very much enjoy how the hot spring looks in 2. They managed to make it properly crossover, and I love that. Do you fucking mind? There, good. Do a little setup, and then we'll do the sleepy sleeps. And then we can actually get into the sales. A burglar. Instantly. Little shit. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. That's what I thought. Yeah, so this is very much find the price and sell it. See if you can. Was that good or was that cheap? That was cheap. Those things are fucking cheap? Hold on. You're telling me this is cheap? 6,000. Can there please be an adventurer to come in and buy the weapon? You're not an adventurer. Okay, sorry, we're closed, everybody. Go home. How much did I make? A lot. A lot. I ain't even gonna try to read that. I made a lot. Bird. Oh, bird's gone. Oh, bird's back. Yippee, bird. So, I'm not gonna do another run for this just because keep it fair for the comparison. Now I can actually move around. I'm sorry if my character was looking at you again. But let me jot down some notes and then I will get to the comparisons. Be 1 second. So here's my notes. For 2, it's got better combat, 3D translates well, the sails are streamlined, the story follows, the controls are smoother, right? So for each of those, it's, whilst the combat is more fleshed out, it can be a tad unfair. But that's also a bit sidelined with the fact that attacks are very readable, and you're given a gun. Like, they gave Will a gun. The 3D translates well. I was talking about that earlier, where with the 3D, it still keeps a lot of the style. Like, comparing this to that, you can see, like, the ooze is still pretty much the same. The slimes are still similar, and it seems like a style that they're happy with. And on... Yes? What's up? Okay, cool. Anyway, it seems like a style they're a lot more happy with, and honestly, I would rather a style that the devs are happy with and can work with well than one that is a force of stagnation. For the sails, it's a lot more involved. It's not just standing at the counter, maybe occasionally fighting, like jumping at the thief that shows up. There's skills involved and haggling and making sure, like, finding the way to get the most out of your coin as possible. Most out of your sale, most of everything. Also, just the controls are smoother. I don't know what you want me to say. They're smoother. They're good. It definitely feels like somebody was playing a little bit too much Hades, but it's still nice. And also, as the note says there, they're not really touching on very much. The story follows after the first game, which, as I explained, spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything. If you want to play the first game, play the first game. If you want to watch a video on the first game, watch the video on the first game. There you go. For Moonlighter 1, though, the dungeon exploring is a lot more rewarding. As in the notes here, you can see, like, with the secrets, challenge crates, lore rooms, and more. There's a lot I can find. Like, if I see a tiny bit of shiny or a weird green thing, I'm going to jump into that, no hesitation, because I want to see what's down there. And 2 does have its challenge rooms, it does have its challenge fights. In my experience, personally, that could be just bad RNG. They don't feel rewarding. Like, I fight through hell to get this, like, to get, like, 5 claws. I know you can't get 5 claws, this is purely just example, it doesn't exist. But I just think that the rewards in 1 so far are more rewarding. I do hope that they end up finagling more with that and working it. But also, note 2, I'm not force-fed spikes as a skill. I just have to rely on my skill. I like playing with hands, so I'll use the hands. I like going through and doing these abilities that help me out. I don't like putting my faith into something that it's not a guarantee I'll ever get to use. Editor, can you go through and count how many, editor being me, can you go through and count how many times spikes was shown as my items? I can build an armor set for my playstyle. If I wanted to, I could just walk over to the good smithy boy and be like, hey, I want to be a little bit slow with a little more health, but I also want these skills to help me out. I don't think having your first armor set you show for, like, this is what we have to offer, be full clear room perfectly. I just don't think that's a good idea. And this is coming from somebody who plays Dead Cells and had full cleared an island. That wasn't really fun. At the potions, you saw, like, if I didn't have all the money but I had the materials, I could get it for cheaper. And it wasn't relied on for me to be putting it in a skill tree. And with that, in the notes here, I can stockpile a lot of my stuff if I'm struggling. And if I'm stockpiling, it's a trade-off. I don't get more items, but I get survivability. And even then, I have to keep track of my survivability in case I get caught in a bad spot and I didn't put potions into the slot. Like, it doesn't all need to be a skill tree. And I think having that give and take of survivability or loot, like trusting your skill or just making sure a little bit extra, that's something I think might need a little bit looked at. Again, I'm comparing a full game to a demo. This is comparing a car to its engine. This is comparing a piece of unsharpened lead to, like, graphite to a whole ass art piece. Like, it's unfinished. I don't know what to tell you. But these are notes that are still worth considering, right? Like, am I still going to play it? Yeah. Did I enjoy what I played in the demo? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think that there's some work that needs to be done? Of course. It's a demonstration of what's to come. Things can change in development. I just hope that they're, apparent and not apparent, transparent about it. But yeah, like, if, as with any game, do your research. If you want to try out the demo, it's free and it's going to be linked in the description. If you want to try the first game, I think it has a demo, I'm not sure, but that will also be linked. And for now, that's all for me. See ya.